Oyez, oyez, oyez. This here is the royal court of their majesties, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Edenvelt.
Yep. Huzzah!
Huzzah. I know, they can't hear it.
So,
yes, because they told us to mute the picture.
okay, so we've come to the beginning of a new year, and we're definitely hopeful that this year will prove to be a little more in person than the last year has been. But with that, it's still not yet.
Not yet. So we actually have some kind of exciting things for this court. So thank you all very much for joining us. We're excited to get to it. Your Highness, did you have anything you wanted to say?
I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and I'm very much looking forward to this new year. New Year is one of my favorite times. Normally we'd be war practicing and getting ready for Estrella, and it's very strange to still be kind of redesigning my living room. So this is weird, but we're very excited to see everyone here today, and thank you for your time.
Their Majesty's first order of business is with Abbot David.
So this gentle lives down in the Barony March of Mons Tenitris, and he's been playing for a few years here in Edenvelt. He's been the site liaison for their Badlands event, and he's been very busy recruiting locals and growing the equestrian community. He's actually working towards becoming the equestrian marshal for the kingdom eventually. So we felt like this gentle deserved some recognition, and we would like to make him a lord today.
Edenvelt, our most glorious kingdom, prospers by the love, honor, service, and goodness of our subjects. Those who add renown to the realm, and in doing so benefit all, we as sovereigns do delight to reward for this cause. To this we bestow upon Abbot David an award of arms. In witness thereof, do we hereby set our hands on this second day of 55 Annus Societatis.
Right.
The Morgan King, Elizabeth Queen.
So pretty.
3 cheers for this new Lord of Edenvelt. Hip hip.
Huzzah!
Hip hip.
Huzzah!
Hip hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would see Matteo Locatelli.
So she was the Deputy A&S Collegium this year. She also did a lot of pre-war advertising and helped with scheduling, and was constantly working while on site. And for that, all of that service, we'd like to make her a star today.
Australian War would not be the most respected event in all the known world without the perseverance and humble commitment of the populace therein. Therefore, it is with due respect and humble adoration that I, Morgan King, and I, Elizabeth, Queen of the glorious lands of Edenvelt, do hereby induct our worthy subject, Matteo Locatelli, unto the Order of the Star of the Desert Ghouls, for time dedicated to making the dream better for all. Done this second day of January, 55 Annus Societatis, also 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this new Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So I don't know if everybody has seen the missive from the board of directors, but they have ordered to extend the closure of the SCA, at least in person, through May 31st. And, you know, hopefully at that point we can start seeing our friends again.
We would ask that you all stay vigilant and just be smart about how you are interacting with folks, just to get us back together soon, please. We want all of you healthy. I know a number of our populace have already been down with this terrible disease, and we don't want to see any more. It's just too bad. It's an awful, awful disease. And so please wash your hands, stay away from people so that we can be near people again.
And remember too, when we can be around people again, remember it's going to be rough on the stewards for the sites and for the events, having to navigate new ways to keep us safe and make sure people are wearing masks and hand wash stations for outdoor events. So just try to lend a helping hand.
The Majesties have business with Benedict of Luzern.
So this fine gentle is actually quite an artist as well. He does leather work and he makes meads and wines. He's a little bit quiet, but he's super talented and very generous with his arts. And so for that, today we would like to recognize him as the flower of the desert.
Proclaim unto all who hear these words that the king and queen do send their heartfelt salutations. Having heard of the great knowledge and skill of our subject, whose works of the arts and sciences have greatly enriched our realm and inspired many, we are honored to admit as a companion Benedict of Luzern into our order of the flower of the desert, done this second day of January, Anna Societatis 55, being 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this new flower of the desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
The Majesties would see Yurik Dimkovich.
So this gentle's been playing for more than 10 years. Talented photographer, always working at Estrella War, and worked really hard during the flood from 2 years ago. And we found out that they're not they don't have their AOA, and today we shall fix that.
Edenveld, our most glorious kingdom, prospers by the love, honor, service, and goodness of our subjects. Those who add to the renown of the realm, and doing so benefit all, we as sovereigns do delight to reward. Thus do we bestow upon Yurik Dimkovich an award of arms done by our hands on the second day of January, Anna Societatis 55. Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this new Lord of Edenveld. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
This is a current court right now going on in Phoenix. The Kingdom of Edenveld, Kingdom Court.
Their Majesties now have business with Flóki, raud-hárr.
So Flóki is our current Kingdom Web Minister, but more to the point, he has been serving as the Web Minister for Estrella as well. He's super responsive with that. When folks put in requests, he's responsive, right away, making those updates to the website. He was instrumental in helping update the website, which if you haven't had a chance to look at it, I highly recommend it. For all of his efforts with war, we would like to recognize him today as a star of the desert.
Some among our populace dedicate themselves tirelessly towards the success of the Estrella War. Now do we, the Crown of Edenveld, recognize Flóki raud-hárr as a companion of the Star of the Desert at the Ghoul's level, given the second day of January, Anna Societatis 55, also known as 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this newest Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
So real quick before we move on, if you are not my herald, could you please mute? Because we're getting a lot of feedback from somebody. You could just double check to make sure you're muted. And while that's happening, so Estrella War The dates have been set. We're looking at November 9th through the 15th. It's going to be at the Country Thunder Ranch site in Florence. They've made a lot of changes. A lot of the things that we didn't like about the site have been rectified. So it should be a great time. And the weather in November is amazing. So.
And we know that there are a lot of events that are getting put on the calendar right now for the end of the year. But we would like to just be so appreciative of how spoiled we are to have the choice between which wars we go to. Of course, we want everybody to come to Estrella, but we also want you to go to the other wars as well as you are able. So we hope that you will join us in November for their Highnesses War down at Country Thunder Ranch. Michaelis, are you there?
You'll have to unmute Michaelis.
There he is.
Their Majesties call before them Judith Ann of Dermast.
So Judith, she teaches at war. She's researched Norse and teaches her research to anybody that'll listen. She works with the clay ovens and she passes her research for others to use and lets them use the ovens. And for that, we'd make her a flower this day.
Whereas the strength of our kingdom lies in her people, those who create beauty are valued for the ambience they help create. Tales of skill and artistic beauty of our beloved Judith Ann of Dermast have reached far and wide and have so inspired others, enriching our realm, that we, Morgan, King, and Elizabeth, Queen of glorious Adenvelt, are minded to admit them to the order of the Flower of the Desert. In witness thereof, do we set our hands the 2nd day of January, Anacitatus 55, being 2021 in the common reckoning. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this newest flower of the desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Their Majesties would see Daphne of Karyes.
So I'm sure you all have seen Daphne at war. She works her tail off to keep everybody moving, even in the worst weather conditions, which we've certainly had a little bit of just recently. She works setup every year, and she helps cheerfully wherever she is needed. And she's done this for a long time. And so today we would recognize her with a Star of the Desert with the level of azure.
There are many among our populace who dedicate themselves tirelessly towards the success of Estrella War. Now do we, the Crown of Adenvelt, recognize Daphne of Karyes as a companion of the Star of the Desert at the azure level, given the 2nd day of Anacitatus 55, also known as 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this new Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Their Majesty would honor Adrian Noel de Lorraine.
So this individual inspires others and is always helpful at scriptoriums and is a talented scribe on her own. And for that, this day we would make her a fleur.
One and all shall come to know throughout the vastness of the realm that those who develop great skill in the arts are worthy of praise. As such do we, Morgan and Elizabeth, rightful king and queen of all Adenvelt, admit Adrian Noel de Lorraine as a companion of the Order of the Fleur de Soleil, done on the 2nd day of January, Anacitatus 55, being 2021 in the common reckoning. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this new Fleur de Soleil. Hip, hip.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
I actually said it, but I think it didn't pick it up on the microphone, except because so that's 4.
The pleasures of virtual court.
So good. So knowing that we have a few more months before we can all get back together again, I've decided to hold another Queen's Prize. So please be watching the interwebs over the next few weeks for details on that. We will mix it up a little bit from the last time, but truthfully, it's a show me your stuff, show me what you're working on. So please be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see with all the free time what people have been working on.
Me too.
The feeling it's going to be a lot of pictures of people's houses.
And our house looks better.
Their Majesties would see Aud the Beardless.
So this individual is obsessed with authenticity, talented artist, cares about making things, and their fighting kit was based off of a 14th century effigy, and it looked amazing. Does banners, works with helping the accurate illuminations, teaches expert caster and carver, and bases her pieces on period finds. And it came to our notice that she's not a pilgrim, and today we fixed that.
To all who come by these present letters, heed the words of the Crown of Etenvelt. Know ye that it is our duty to reward those of our subjects who are deserving our favor for their great efforts in the research, presentation, and teaching of historical recreation in our kingdom. Therefore, we, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Etenvelt, admit Aud the Beardless to the Order of the Desert Pilgrim on the 2nd day of January in the year of the plague, Anna Societatis 55, being 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, Rex Etenveltus, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this new desert pilgrim. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip,
Huzzah!
hip. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
I love the shark on that scroll for no real reason other than he makes me happy.
That scroll's gorgeous.
Right?
Mistress Daphne really is incredibly talented as a scribe.
Yes, she
And
is.
tries to personalize everything.
Their Majesties would see Lucius James.
So you might know this person by his modern name, Jimmy. He is instrumental at Estrella War. Every year, he is everywhere. Like, he's everywhere. I don't even know how to explain it. But if you need something, he's like, yep, I got it. I'll meet you there. We'll take care of it. He's up and moving around in the middle of the night, the first thing in the morning, maybe less smiley in the morning, but always happy to help and cheerful and wonderful to work with. And he's been such a huge part of Estrella War for so many years that we felt it would be remiss not to honor him with a Star of the Desert Argent.
In this glorious kingdom of Etenvelt, we have an event called Estrella War that gathers great fighters, artisans, merchants, and friends for great fun, learning, and celebration. It would not be possible without the service of all and the tireless efforts of our most beloved subject. To honor such, we have the Order of the Star of the Desert, which we now bestow upon Lucius James to be known as a companion argent, done by our hands this 2nd day of January, Anna Societatis 55, being 2021 in the Common Era. Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this new Star of the Desert. Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Hip, hip.
Huzzah!
Your Majesties, Mistress Magdalene had an announcement she wished to make.
Greetings, everyone. Can y'all hear me all right? Give me a high sign. All right. So as your Kingdom Arts and Sciences officer, there are lots of arts and sciences activities coming up. I just wanted to give you a quick shout out about those. And also as the herald for the Barony of Triscathir, there are a couple of announcements for there as well. So for Triscathir, tomorrow will be their monthly All Thing, and they're interviewing Lord Caddick Deadfish. So if you're interested, tune in. They're always quite fun. Also on the 9th of January, Triscathir will be having a boar roundup, which is kind of a gifting from their excellencies to the populace. It is a drive-through at Reed Park where we usually would have had fighter practice, but it's no contact, just come out and there's a little largesse for everyone. As to January 16th, it is our kingdom's 50th anniversary. Master Raven Main and a host of co-autocrats have provided a video virtual anniversary event. The arts events that are going on are being handled by Mistress Shoshana, the classes by Master Richard, and there will be a performing arts room that'll be run by Lord Tom and Lady Aylin Spellsinger. They graciously allowed me to have a poetry competition that day as well. So for all of you who are interested in poetry, we're gonna have some fun with Atenbelt themed poetry, and just come out because there's going to be Atenbelt history, there'll be fighter classes, there are a number of things that'll be offered, and we would love for all of you to just pop in sometime throughout the day and join us for our anniversary virtual. Once we're able to get back together, we will do an in-person anniversary event so that everyone can actually join in and get all the hugs that we all miss so much. As to the 16th, there's also, I believe, a court of their majesties. And then the next day, on January 17th, we will be doing a monthly arts and sciences show and tell. It's open, you can bring anything you like to show, but we also have some theme suggestions. So for January 17th, it'll be embroidery, beadwork, and clothing. So if you have an interest in that, tune in. It's from 1 to 3, it'll be a Zoom meeting, but we'll all just be talking arts. And so for those of you who missed that, it's kind of a sit and stitch. And I would say the original title, but you know what I mean. Anyway, last but not least, February 13th is the Atlantean University. They have had over 120 classes from all over the known world, and they encourage all of us to join in and enjoy their classes and learn about various arts and sciences. Our kingdom will be hosting a Kingdom Collegium in late April. I don't have all the details nailed down yet, but please stay tuned and we'll get those dates out to you and the teachers list as soon as possible. And then last but not least, this evening, Her Excellency Baroness Sigrid will be having a nesting or vigil for her upcoming answer to their majesties as to the pelican. So please, all pelicans, of course, we are encouraging you to join her, but she would love to be visited by anyone and everyone in our kingdom to give her advice as to this great honor. Thank you all for your time and Happy New Year.
Thank you for that, Mistress.
Their Majesties have business now with Tiphina of Ledbury.
So she has twice served as Deputy ANS for our kingdom, as well as being a baronial ANS minister. She leads the musical group down in Mons, and she's constantly striving to improve her own skills while arranging music to best suit the skill level of those members of the group. And for that, today we make her a golden trumpet.
Ever as precious as rare gems are those diligent and devoted souls who enhance the experience of us all. Those distinguished and varied talents in the musical and bardic arts are exceptional assets to the dream and shall be acknowledged. Therefore do we, the glorious crown of Atenvelt, name Tiphina of Ledbury for her musical and bardical contributions to our realm. She tirelessly donates her most wondrous musical talents, and as such, we now admit her to the Order of the Golden Trumpet, done this second day of January, Anna Societatis 55, being 2021 in the common reckoning. Morgan, King, Elizabeth, Queen. 3 cheers for this new golden trumpet. Hip, hip.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Hip, hip.
Huzzah.
Hip, hip.
Huzzah. That's good now.
Their Majesties would see Demetrios of Crete.
So, Sir Demetrios, he's more than a knight in our kingdom. He's also a very talented artist. And he has done an extensive amount of research into his Greek persona. He's excited to share that research with anybody who shows some interest in Greek culture and history. And his infectious enthusiasm for his chosen time period is really just astounding. And so way back in about this time a year ago, we decided that he would be our commander of the Flóki.
For continued service and dedication to the field of arts and sciences and excellence in the skill and research in his chosen fields of endeavor, do we, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenvelt, create Demetrios of Crete, a commander of the Fleur de Soleil, and confer upon him a grant of arms, to wit, argent, a rondel gules, a bull's head, and cabosse argent, a corridor gules. Done this second day of May, Anna Societatis 55, being the 20th year of the second millennium commonly. Morgan, Rex, Elizabeth, Regina. 3 cheers for this newest commander of the Fleur de Soleil. Hip, hip.
Huzzah.
Hip, hip.
Huzzah.
Hip, hip.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
May I?
Sure, of course.
I literally was wearing a sweater because I came late and didn't realize it was court and threw a tunic on just because we're talking. So sorry, I don't have a my chain on. I'm taken aback. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm emotional. Thank you. I'm so humbled. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your enthusiasm and all that you do for the arts in our kingdom. And I know that we won't have you forever. So we wanted to be sure to take care of this before you go on new adventures.
Thank you, Your Majesties. And I will be steadfast in my endeavor to set up or continue to set up the Eastern Atenvelt contingent as we slowly retake over the Outlands in service, of course.
Perfect. So this weird year of plague has brought a bunch of the known world crowns together. We've been discussing for a number of months a way to recognize the people who have held our dream afloat through times of separation and fear and all kinds of craziness. It's called the Gratia Coronae. It means the thanks of the crown. Would you like to say anything?
So we spent a lot of time working through a list of people that we think have been instrumental in keeping not only the kingdom, but the SCA as a whole alive during this virtual year where we haven't been able to and will continue to have to be virtual for a while. So we actually ended up getting more of these made because the list got so vast because there were so many individuals that have done so much. And we're really excited to start sending these out all over because they're actually not all in Kingdom too.
Alice, if you would please. And Lady Ulricana as well, please.
I just unmuted me.
Achax Achata.
Algetha of Ashwood.
Alex the scribe.
Antonio di Sforza.
Ari Usni.
Ariana Marie de la Luna.
Arthur.
Aulin Spiel Singer.
Aurora Fa.
Avelina Scarlet.
Beatrice.
Brannis O. Longerdale.
Callum of Skye.
Caradwin Verch Dakin.
Christopher Fitzarthur.
Cian.
Craven.
Demetrios of Crete.
Demanya Vodkovich.
Domingo.
Dougal.
Edward.
Edward Harrison.
Elena Zarkova.
Eleanor Cleveley.
Elizabeth Aethelwolf.
Elsbieta.
Emmeline.
Eivor Haldersdottir.
Vargas de Botha.
Fine Ingen Wichelig.
Finian McBride.
Flóki the Ginger.
G. Claudius Pugnax.
Gallant O'Driscoll.
Geneviève de Lirencourt.
Gretlen Brisling.
Grigor Medvedev. Sorry.
Grimald the Faithful.
Gwenfrey.
Hamasaki Ewa.
Hawk Bjarnson.
Heinrich Loscher von Rostock.
Helga Skaldmer.
Raffen Varger.
Iago.
Yanka Ivanova Zhena.
Ida Grimm. Sorry.
Ilaria Vopidola Scala.
Enia Al Andalusivia.
Arisco Erañas.
Ivan Petrovich.
Jacqueline de Normandie.
Jerusha Alayan.
Juliana La Comandante de Navarro.
Candace van der Leibel.
Karma Tinsen Condro.
Katerina of Otfert.
Catherine Throckmorton.
Koga Takashiro Kagahira.
Lagertha Arnfrid's daughter.
Leo Livas.
Lee Zia.
Leah Winterborn.
Lilia.
Magdalene Venturosa.
Magnus.
Man Delin.
Marcus Octavius Valerius.
Meredith Browder.
Marie de Garau.
Marie Lemaines.
Marta Astu Mika Miss Louis.
Matne Donia.
Matea Locatelli.
Melody.
Michaelis Aurelius.
Moira O'Drugan.
Morgane Essex.
Nastasia Volkovicia.
Nicoletto de Placenza.
Octavia Gaillard.
Heron de la Serena.
Paul O'Cullion.
Hilaria Apolaseva.
Rawakin.
Raven Main.
Richard McCouth.
Rivka Lea.
Roberto de los Montana del Troeno.
Ros Ingen Hui Gel Chobar.
Rowan Bridget Blackmore.
Rowan McKay,
Rodaba al-Nadia,
Runa Gigya,
Sancha Galinda del Toledo,
Saida Kessa bin Badr al-Tabrizi,
Sieth Ingen Shaneg,
Seamus McRain,
Sebastian,
Seeley Bloxham,
Sigrid,
Slain,
Taryn the Wayward,
Tatinka Ribbing,
Thomas DeRevel,
Thomas Spiracieri,
Tiny of Twin Moons,
Todd McDonald,
Tierbind Ormson,
Valdisa of Sundragon,
Vesper,
Volchek Korskov,
Wolf,
Zanetta Zavata.
Quite a list.
Though current times of plague have been filled with uncertainty, you have kept the realm alive. Through recent trials, your works are a ray of light in the dark, for reminding us that when one faces the shadows, fall behind, we, the Crown of Atenvelt, now thank each of these individuals.
So these scrolls are just astonishing. So many of them are personalized to the recipients. There were 115 names on that initial list. We have nearly 200 more available to go out. So if there are folks that you are aware of that are working to keep the dream alive during these times of plague, please.
Give me a few minutes, I'm going to begin to clean. I'm finishing up this meeting.
Please make sure everybody's muted. We're almost done. So we are looking for more names so that we can recognize more people.
Did you want to talk about this special medallion?
Oh, we did have a specialized medallion made. It's a cross kingdom medallion. There were, I believe, 10 or 12 different kingdoms that all joined together and designed the medallion and decided that they would give these out. But because we're Atenvelt, I said, hey, Scribal community, can we also give out scrolls? Because we do. So we will be getting those out. They will not be mailed individually because we don't want to bankrupt the kingdom over mailing out these medallions. It's a lot. But again, please send us your names for more. We'd love to recognize everybody. Do you have any closing words, my love?
I just want to make sure that we all remember to reach out to each other. While it's still going to be virtual for a while, make sure your friends are still doing well and that they know that you care. I know for me, that's one of the things that really helps me along is, you know, I'll get that out of the blue message from a friend going, checking in on me. And I try to do it regularly to people too. So let's make sure we're all doing that, keeping everybody afloat.
Please join us after court for happy hour. We're going to stick around for maybe 30 minutes or so just to say hi and be a little bit more interactive, perhaps. Your Highness, did you have anything you wanted to say in closing?
Just that I'm excited the announcement for Estrella went out, and we look forward to hosting the best welcome home party ever. And, you know, I can't think of a better group of people to celebrate with once we're able to all be back together. So thank you very much.
There being no further business before this court, this hereby closes the court of their majesties, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenvelt. Long live the king.
Long live the king.
Long live the queen.
Long live the queen.
Long live the crown prince.
Long live the crown prince.
Long live the crown princess.
Long live the crown princess.
Long live these sovereign lands of Agenveld.
Long live these sovereign lands of Agenveld.
Hey.